Hey everybody, here with a new demo again. Marshall forum, you guys have seen. I got just got a JCM800 2203 reissue, and so I finally got around to being able to do a demo for it. And I'm trying to do it with a microphone on there, microphone here. Hopefully, record a little better, audio quality. So with that said, I'm going to do the demo with the 2005 Les Paul Custom 498, 490. The amp is it's a 2203 reissue. I've got it set presence 2, bass 8, mid 6, treble 2, master about 2.5, and the preamp is on 8. So I'm going to start out with just the amp. Then I'll bring in an overdrive pedal, and we'll see what we have. So you may notice I'm wearing earplugs. Normally I don't do that in these demos, but this thing is idiotic. So earplugs it is. Anyway, so as always, excuse my plan if I make any screw-ups on the cover stuff I'm doing. I'm going to start out just by using the volume knob. I'm going to roll it through sort of clean and then into like mid-level distortion. Then I'll go all the way up with it, and then we'll bring the overdrive in. Alright, and just to mention, this is all on the high gain input. I'm not using the low one at all, so I'll bring the volume up now. And I think this is about the point where you get into your sort of classic Marshall type sound. So with that, let me try some AC/DC here, see if I can mess that up. I told you I was going to screw that up. And you can hear it's feeding back. This one has a loop, and it would really benefit from a noise gate, but I don't have one, so just kind of running it as it is. Okay, so I'm going to bring the volume all the way up on the guitar now. This is going to produce, obviously, the most distortion, but also definitely could end up with a lot more feedback, so sorry if that happens. so that's that. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of Guitar Center syndrome here, where I can't remember the riffs that I know, so I can play some. Let me try some Kiss, I suppose. And again, I'm sorry for the feedback. I don't know why it's doing that. Normally it doesn't feedback like that, but then again, normally I don't have it on 3, so that could be it. Okay, so now I am going to bring in the Overdrive pedal. This is a Boss SD1 Wazacraft version. It has the level is max. The gain is like 9 o'clock, and the tone's right about 9 o'clock also. And it's going to make a lot more noise. Okay, so I'll just try some basic 80s stuff that I'm probably so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, as I mentioned, the pedal is one of the Wazacraft pedals, and there's a little switch which has it in, and right now it's in standard mode, so it operates just like any other SD1. But what I'm going to do is switch it over to custom mode, which has all the the basic mods that everybody does to them, and it's more gain, more bass, that kind of thing. So I'm going to bring that in, do a little bit of heavier stuff here. So then again, feedback like crazy. Let's see. Trying to think of something else I know how to play. So there's that one. Let's see. I swear I don't know why, but I can't think of any riffs that I know how to play. Tell you what, I'm going to do this one. All the faithful, don't crucify me here because I'm going to mess this up, but I'm going to try it. And again, I'm having to roll that volume back because it just feeds back so much. Normally, it's not like that on a little lower volume, and noise gate, I'm sure, would make all the difference in the world. But the only means I have to implement a noise gate is using a big pod effects unit, and it really just takes the tone right out of this thing, even in the loops. So just leave that alone. One day I'll buy a noise gate, but anyway, so I guess that's about it. Like I know more stuff, but I can't think of it. So one more thing I want to show you. And what that is the response to picking that this amp has. This amp is what I would call difficult to play. For whatever reason, like any other amp I've played, I've had the JVM from Marshall, I've had Splawns, I've had all kind of stuff, and I used digital modeling for a while and all that. They are easier to play. Like when you hit a note or something, it just jumps out of there, no big deal. This one, it's a lot harder to get the notes to jump out. It's almost like it fights you a little bit. I don't mean to make it sound like it doesn't do it. It's just that you have to be a little more precise, which in my case is tough to do, but you have to be more precise of a player with this amplifier than you do with other amplifiers because, when you go to hit a note, if you don't hit it clearly, let it ring on the guitar, that amp is just gonna cut it right off. So I had to change my picking technique. I usually like to drag my thumb behind each pick stroke, and it gives it a little harmonic. But I can't with this amp because it tends to just kill the note. So I had to change that around. But anyway, I wanted to show you the picking dynamics on this thing. So I'm going to turn the volume back up. It might feed back, but I just want to show you. And I use a little AC/DC as an example. if I play easily on here. Okay, and that's just easy strumming. So let me show you this. I'm going to dig into it now. So anyway, just wanted to kind of show that off. That's one thing I think is cool about the amp is it's very responsive to how you hit it with the pick. If you pick easily, it'll be real nice. Volume control obviously very responsive because you go from that full-on roar down to basically a crystal clean just with the volume. So as long as you have a little control with that, this thing will do anything. And it's one channel, but like I say, with the volume moving, there's about 3 to 4 positions on the volume knob of your guitar. If you figure it that way, right now I'm on about 1. That's really clean. And as I go up, it starts to get more and more distorted. So on 5, you're into more, JTM type sounds. And then at 10, you get the full 800. So pretty cool. I like that feature. But anyway, really happy with the amp. I think it's a great amp. For me, when I was looking at buying an amp, a year ago, whenever it was that I, was really looking to purchase something, the 800 was on my list. I mean, it was definitely one that I was considering, but I had the concern that it wasn't a heavy enough amplifier, like there wasn't enough gain available and one channel. How am I going to use one channel and all that stuff? So, but I'll tell you this: from having it, it's plenty. Overdrive pedal, and again, I've barely got any gain dialed in on that overdrive pedal. It's only at about 9 o'clock, so it's got a lot more to go. But it's enough gain to do just about anything as long as you're not playing some kind of black metal. It's fine. It's plenty of gain for that with that overdrive pedal. And as you can hear, it's fairly gainy even without the overdrive pedal. But the more the master volume comes up, the more you get out of it. And that's kind of the plus and minus of this amplifier. If you're playing a good sized venue and you can turn it up, then that's great. You'll be able to open this thing up and you'll have a really killer tone. But if you're playing at your house like I am, or at smaller venues, you might be a little restricted on what you can make it do because it doesn't get quiet. There is no quiet on this amplifier. By the time you start turning the volume, when it actually starts to produce sound, it's already loud. And that's not even at 1. So, yeah, but really a great amp. And if you're playing, like I say, bigger venues, this thing, it's just fantastic in that you can open it up, let it breathe, and it'll be as loud as anything you can imagine. It is just unbelievable. But really great amp, like I say. If you're concerned about the single channel thing, don't be, I guess, because like I say, you can do the volume knob on your guitar, use some pedals to bring it up or down. I mean, you can add as much versatility as you need. The modern guitar player is used to having 3, 4, 5 channels, whatever the case is, or like I was initially using modeling where you have infinite channels, so to speak. Going to a 1-channel amp is quite a change, but again, I don't miss all the channels. I find that I don't need them. Just a little bit more active, guitar playing by me as far as picking dynamics and volume control. And this amp will do anything that a modeling amp will do. The only difference, of course, being effects. But on the reissue, you have a loop, so you could put a big pedal board back there and do whatever you want. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I want to quit talking now. But again, if you're thinking about a 2203 reissue, hopefully this demo will help out. Again, I'm sorry that I'm not that great of a guitar player and all that. I'm sure some professional players could demo this thing much better than me, but hopefully my little video will give you guys some kind of an idea of what you can expect from these amps. And really, I wouldn't turn anybody away. It's a great amplifier. So again, thank you guys for watching.